Hello and welcome to Tasting with Matt and Mike. I'm Mike Veach and this is my partner in crime, Matt Kohorst.
Howdy.
And we are here today. We're going to taste some whiskeys from the High West Distillery in Park City, Utah.
Mm-hmm.
These whiskeys, for the most part, are sourced. I don't think they have much. They've been putting some of their whiskey in some of their bottles, but I think everything I have here is all going to be sourced.
Okay.
But they haven't been around. They're quite long enough to have a aged product that will be 100% their own.
How long have they been around for? Do you know?
They've been around for it's 4, 5, 6 years now. But it's a small distillery. They don't make a whole lot, because they're compared to the big guys,
Right.
Jim Beam makes more than 1 hour than they probably make it all year. But and they're very high demand. So they've built quite a business by sourcing whiskey, and they source really good whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it does have, like I said, some of it is whiskey with some of their own whiskey in it. Let's see what we have here today. We have the High West Bourbon, which is the American Prairie Bourbon, which is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys bottled by the High West Distillery, Park City, Utah. And I don't see anything on here indicating where they're sourcing it from, but probably you can figure it's probably MGP. But like I said, they're well known for picking really good barrels of whiskey in their product.
Yeah. I've always been a big fan of the label. I love the design of the label.
In their bottle, even.
Yeah, it's like a slender, long. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, these are these first two are only 375 bottles.
Right. Yeah.
This bourbon, it's a 92 proof, no age statement.
So that means it has to be at least 4 years, right?
At least 4 years, no age statement.
All right.
So, interesting notes.
That's
You can
different.
smell the corn,
Mm-hmm.
and I get a little bit of a citrusy, maybe almost like a mango.
Yeah.
It's not really citrus. It's not really peach. It's something in those lines. Maybe mango does describe it best.
Getting like a buttery.
A little buttery.
Buttery.
Some vanilla.
Some vanilla.
A little bit of oak.
There's a spice in there too.
Yeah, it's a sweet spice.
It's a sweet spice. It's like some kind of bacon, maybe like a.
Maybe cardamom or maybe allspice even.
Yeah, allspice is kind of what I'm getting. It smells good though.
Yeah,
it's a good smell.
I mean, like I said, they're well known for picking really good whiskeys for their products, and this could very well have some of their product in it.
Okay. It'd be interesting.
I haven't researched it.
Maybe they'll hit us up and let us know if they have anything in those bottles of theirs.
So. Yeah. So let's taste it. That's nice.
It is nice.
It's got that citrusy, almost tangerine now.
Tangerine. Yeah. Nice.
And definitely allspice.
Yeah. Nice spicy. Yeah. Definitely kicked up the spice in the finish.
Yeah.
You said that was 92?
Yeah, 92 proof.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I'm even getting maybe a hint of cinnamon in there with that.
Well, that's what allspice has, that little bit of cinnamon nutmeg.
A little bit of cinnamon nutmeg, yeah. Tasty stuff, yeah. Spicy. Yeah. I would call this a spicy bourbon.
Yeah, and you still get a little bit of that vanilla caramel sweetness too, and it just really nice.
Yeah, it's nice
bourbon.
full. Yeah, it's a nice full, full flavor.
Yeah. Very, very good one on a winter's night like tonight. I mean, it kind of almost tastes Christmassy.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's see what it does with cranberry. really brings out the vanilla.
Mm-hmm. Kind of tamed the fruit down a little bit, actually, on that one.
But it's still there.
Still there, and not quite as spicy.
Not quite as spicy, but a little bit more oak.
A little bit more oak, yeah.
Particularly on the finish.
So it kind of mellowed out the, like the fruits and the spiciness, but you get like that mellow, like oaky,
vanilla, oak, sweet oak is what I like to call it.
Yeah, sweet oak.
The sweet oak is not a tannic oak, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tannic is a little bit bitter and tannic and dry, whereas a sweet oak is more of a taste like sawdust. Like you're working with wood.
Yeah.
You get that sweet oak.
Mm-hmm.
So let's.
I've always loved the smell of sawdust.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
So let's.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. So
Brings back that citrus.
Brings back the citrus. Hits me with that nice spice.
Mm-hmm.
And it also kept the oak from that I got with the fruit or with the cran. It's still there with the pecan as well.
Yeah.
So nice oak finish. Yeah, it's really good stuff.
Yeah, it's just a nice bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
The next one we have is their High West Double Rye, which is also 92 proof. And I believe it's a blend of straight rye whiskeys.
It's like, so that's what double rye.
Yeah.
Is that what they're saying with that? It's like,
Yeah,
it's two different rye whiskeys blended together.
I believe so. Or two different rye mash bills, maybe.
Okay.
It's double because the whiskey was created from two different rye whiskeys.
Well, there you go. They've got a lot of information on the back of these.
Both of them a minimum of 2 years old. So this does have an age statement here. 2 years old. And sourced from multiple distilleries.
So it's probably around maybe a little over 2 years old, right?
Well, it's a minimum of 2 years old. It could be, one of those ryes could be 20 years old.
Yeah,
in
the
theory,
mystery. Yeah,
because it's you have to put the age of the youngest.
Yeah.
But yeah, more than likely you're probably looking at 2, 3, 4 year old rye.
I mean, you smell that rye right away.
Yeah, you immediately get that rye grass.
Well, that's popping right out. That's
once again you get that kind of a cinnamony lemon spice. Kind of that Christmas.
I'm getting a lot of lemon here. It's very lemony.
I'm thinking if you get one of those Christmas cookies that have a little bit of lemon and spice. Sugar cookie type.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting nose.
Mm-hmm. Let's taste it, see what it does.
I mean, you're hit with a nice rye flavor.
Yeah, you start off, you get that rye grass
right away. Maybe more so than a lot of rye whiskeys that I've ever had.
But I'm still getting that lemony.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting a little bit of that spicy cinnamon ginger, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's good in a way that like a lot of ryes that I've tasted, like you get the rye, but it doesn't give you like that full because a lot of it could be like, well, it's 51%.
Right.
Well,
there's a lot of different factors too.
Yeah.
And once you get really old, the rye begins to taste just like wood because when you get a 12, 15, 20-year-old rye whiskey, it's dominated by the barrel. So you lose a lot of that. It's hard to tell a 20-year-old rye from a 20-year-old bourbon in a blind tasting. because they both taste like oak.
Right. So I guess the good thing about it's young enough to where like
You
the
still
rye
get
still stand out.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it's very pleasant.
Yeah, I like that. I like that flavor
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit.
Well, let's see what it does with cranberry. Ooh, that's interesting. It really brings out the vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
You still get that rye grass, but it tones it down.
Tones it down.
Adds more vanilla. You still get that gingery, cinnamony spiciness.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's almost like a Christmas cookie type
That
spice.
with the cran, it's definitely more of that Christmas cookie, you know, because it sweetens it up a little bit more for me,
Right.
you know. Oh yeah, I really like it. It's really
Yeah,
good.
it's a good rye, you know.
Mhm. And I can definitely, I'm feeling that Christmas vibe with it,
Mhm.
like you said, with the cookie. Yeah.
So let's see what the pecan does. That lemon becomes almost tangerine to me. It adds a little sweetness to it. Takes the tart lemon and turns it to more of a tangerine, but still a lemon. Kind of a mixture of a
Yeah, it's
lemon and a tangerine.
like almost giving me like lemongrass. Like when you think of
Yeah.
lemongrass, like not necessarily the flavor, but like like it makes me think of that because it's
Yeah.
lemony and that ryegrass together. and
Right.
Yeah, it reminds me of like being in like a field. You know,
Yeah.
like has that kind of flavor, like like a nice earthy, grassy kind of flavor. I don't know a better way to describe it than that, really.
Yeah.
Delicious in its own right, for sure.
Yeah, it's a really good whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So the last one, which is funny since we're talking about Christmassy and everything, it's their High West, a Midwinter's Night's Dram, which is a blend of straight rye whiskeys finished in French oak port barrels.
Mm.
So it's not only French oak, it's French oak that had port wine aged in it.
Okay.
And this is Act 6, Scene 6, and this is from a couple of years ago. I think this year was like Act 8 or something. That's the way they tell the different batches is by the act.
Ah, okay.
Of course, Midwinter's Night's Dram is a play on the Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream.
Mm-hmm. Such a fun name.
Yes.
And a cool label again.
Yeah, and cool label and high class whiskey here. This is something that as soon as it comes out, people snatch it off the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
We were lucky enough to find one on the shelf a couple of years ago. We bought it, so
Yeah, you got to get it when you can.
right, get it when you can.
All right.
So, I mean, just look at the color, how red that is.
Oh yeah.
You can tell that's that port wine French oak.
Mm-hmm.
When you get that little bit of a kind of a raisiny fruitiness from that port wine, but that rye grass still comes through with a little bit of a spicy baking spice, ginger, cinnamon,
Mm-hmm.
maybe cardamom.
Yeah, a lot of cinnamon.
And
Just a hint of that great.
and as I'm breathing this, smelling the aromas here, as it opens up, I'm beginning to get just a hint of like dark chocolate.
I mean, it smells wonderful.
Yeah.
I love the way this one smells.
So
Great nose.
let's take a sip.
Oh, it's complex, packed with
Right.
a lot. I'm getting chocolate a lot immediately, like right on the. Yeah.
First of all,
Right on the
it's
tongue.
creamy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you put it in your mouth, it's almost viscous.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
you get a little bit of that ryegrass, and you get that chocolate. You get some spice. You get a little bit of that citrusy, fruity.
Yeah, you're getting all those elements blended together very well.
Right.
Which is hard to do.
Right.
You know? And the finish is got a hint of oak. Yeah, I get a hint of that like.
But it's not
chocolate.
overly oaky.
No, not at all. No, it's a good blend.
Yeah.
I can see why it just gets torn off the shelves.
Right.
You know, like as soon as it comes
Right.
out.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if this had whiskey in it that was over 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
If it has any over 12 years old, it's in small quantities because you get that oak, and you get a little bit of those tannins, but it's not dominated by the wood.
Right.
It's letting the other factors of the whiskey shine through, and that's really important.
Yeah. So do you think there's like a magical aging point where the barrel, the wood from the barrel doesn't take it over,
generally,
but,
my sweet spot's between 8 and 12 years old. Once you get past 12 years old, it really depends on the barrel. You can find really nice 15, 18, 20-year-old whiskeys.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the exception, not the rule.
Yes.
So many really old whiskeys get to be tasting just like the barrel. And, like I said, you can't tell the difference between a lot of 20-year-old rye and a 20-year-old bourbon.
Right.
Because it all tastes like barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So,
all right. Let's
let's
cran
try
it up.
Let's see what a cranberry does to this. Cranberries in midwinter sounds perfect then.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. So it brings out like that lemony citrus.
Mm-hmm. Makes the finish even more spicy and oaky.
Yeah, almost like turns it from an allspice into maybe like a more peppery spice for me.
Yeah.
Like a white pepper or black pepper.
Yeah, I was
More
thinking
white
black
pepper. Black pepper?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it still had like a little bit of that like that floral note.
Yeah.
And really good stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's cleanse our palate and see what see what the pecan does. To me, that brought out the caramel and the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly on the finish. That chocolate really comes out on the
Yeah.
finish. But the fruit kind of subsides.
It does. Mm-hmm.
Hardly noticeable at all. But the spice is still there. But I think it is more of that white pepper, black pepper spice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives it like, yeah, definitely. I can still feel it tingling, in the back here, in my throat. Overall, I think for me, like, yeah, this definitely is like the best of the three.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But then I'd almost have to go with that double rye the second, because it is very different, and
Well, all three of them are really good.
all three of them are really good. Yeah.
But like I said, this ought to be the best. I mean, this is the one that if you find a bottle of this on the secondary market, you're going to be paying, $500-600.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is good.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The double rye. I think that bottle there, which is a 375, I think runs about $30.
It's very affordable, very
Right.
good. I think for the rye lovers, like, you're gonna really enjoy that one, because you're getting a lot of rye flavor in
Right.
that one. Where a lot of rye whiskeys, like you said, like the older they get, the less kind of rye's in there, or like
Right.
different like percentages of rye go into the make of it. But yeah, that one definitely.
See,
is right
and
forward.
I'm wondering if some of that 2-year-old whiskey they talk about being in here. One of the the whiskeys is actually their own distillery.
Oh, that would be interesting. Hey, if you guys are watching,
Yeah.
hi Wes, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Cheers.
So anyway, till next time.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.